festival to you. Fringe Radio.
Hello again. Welcome to Programme 11 of our 28 daily programmes, coming to you direct from Radisson Blu Hotel in the heart of Edinburgh. And in today's show, we speak with magician Andrew Frost, comedians Chris Forbes and Susie McCabe, and at the other end of the spectrum, actresses Sofia May and Kristina Libby. And there's also our Royal Mile walk to get our teeth into, where we bump into some of the actors and producers who are promoting their shows here at the Edinburgh Fringe. Well, a man who's at the Fringe is the brilliant Andrew Frost, and Andrew will be premiering his new show at the Baby Grand on Pleasance Courtyard. It's called Just Let Me Have This, and Andrew's with me now. It's nice to have you here, first of all. How's the thing going at the moment? Because this is really early stages. This is the premiere, isn't it, of your new show?
Yeah, I'm loving it so far. It's been really lovely. It's a show that I find so enjoyable to do, and that's, I think, half of the battle at the Fringe. So I think actually finding a show that you love doing, and so all of the other stuff kind of just falls into place, which is so nice.
And it's all about sleight of hand and some amazing card tricks. And you are known as the best of the best.
I don't know if that's quite true.
Well, David Blaine and Darren Brown, two people I admire incredibly, certainly rate you. And if you've got a couple of the calibre who then are quite happy to go on record as saying that. And of course your previous show, which was called The Greatest Card Magician in the World, you must think that as well.
The show was, there was a bit more of a snappy title to get people in the room, and then you find out that the show is about me not being the greatest card magician in the world. It was actually about a review I received for the first show that I did up here, and then it was kind of a reaction to that. The review described me as somebody who might be the greatest card magician in the world, but then gave me a 4-star review.
What?
Yeah, so so I thought it was just a funny thing of kind of a comment on maybe card magic that it will never achieve 5 stars.
With close-up magic then, I mean, presumably you've got sort of overhead cameras, is that how the show works, or is it just a very intimate audience and they can see what's going on? What
I've found is that if you do have a camera in a smaller venue, it's more distracting than it is. Cameras are always a nightmare in a tech situation anyway.
Yeah.
So trying to get them kind of plugged into the board and all of that kind of stuff is always a challenge. So to get that out, particularly when you have the really fast get-ins and outs at the Edinburgh Fringe, is always good. But I did have a camera for my first year, but what I found is that people ended up watching the camera as opposed to watching me. And the camera's only really giving you one part of the show. So for the last 2 shows, I've actually got rid of the camera, and it's just me standing up. I don't even have a table anymore.
Right.
So it's just me standing up, kind of wandering around the stage and stuff. And I've noticed that if you hold up a card up to about 200 people, you're still people are able to see.
Yeah, that's interesting. I remember talking to Paul Daniels about 30 years ago, and he said exactly the same thing, that, you can be at the back of the theatre, you can still see what the card is.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually I've found that even if you can't really see it, as long as the first few rows are reacting,
yes,
that kind of carries through to the back of the room, even if you're in a much larger venue. But at the Fringe, I'm never in anything more than kind of about 80 at the moment.
And it's interesting as well, because you mentioned about the cameras and how it can be distracting. And I was talking to Finlay Christie, the comedian, and we were talking about, the intimacy of a live comic show. And then you get the Peter Kays and the Michael McIntyres who do the arenas, 15,000 people, and no one's actually looking at the stage, they're looking at the big screens. And because they're so far back, if you take a venue like the O2, it's out of sync.
Yeah, of course, there must be latency issues, mustn't there? Yeah, that's really interesting. In the first show I did, I basically just had one cable into a screen, so the latency was as minimal as possible. But yeah, at the moment you start plugging it into other stuff, I guess.
It must be a technical nightmare.
Yeah.
But nothing for you to worry about.
No, nothing for me to worry about this year.
So let's go back to the roots then. I mean, every magician I speak to say, it was about 4 years old, 5 years old. I just got inspired by something, and I've been doing it ever since, and practice. Is that the same route as you?
No, I got into it at 19.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, much later on than kind of my peers. I've literally found a book in a bookshop. I didn't even think it was a magic book. I thought it was a fiction book. Opened it up, found out it was a card magic book. And it was basically from that moment on, it was absolute obsession. It was just, I've never stopped doing it. I just thought it was the coolest thing. And then, that's where we're up to now. It's like 14 years later.
An interesting journey, isn't it?
It's so fun. I've always had kind of like fairly obsessive type hobbies, like over the years, but magic is the only one that really stuck with me. That initial kind of getting better and feeling like you're getting better never really goes away because there's always another step. So initially it's just like learning tricks or learning just even sleights, so just like little moves that you can do, and then it becomes full tricks, and then it becomes how do you perform that trick, and then eventually you get to the point where you're going, how does that fit into a show, how do I try and create a narrative arc through the show, and all of those kinds of things. So the kind of the learning never really stopped, and I've just loved it. Yeah, it's been great.
And Charlie Caper was in not so long ago, and he was saying this great camaraderie that exists between magicians, and he was talking about something that was happening at, I think it was Blackpool or something, where they had almost 5,000 magicians sort of just turning up at Blackpool and talking to each other.
Yeah, it's kind of the world of magic is just mad. What he's referring to is Blackpool Magic Convention, and it's an event where that's basically it. It's 5,000 magicians in a room, all discussing the thing that a lot of them is their like absolute obsession. So you just get kind of a lot of obsessive people around a table, or just with my friends, it's all card tricks. And so, it's absolutely mad world.
And some tricks which look really complicated turn out to be quite simple if you're starting out or whatever. But then there's other things which are so complicated, and it involves sleight of hand and all the rest of it. And that is something that you just have to immerse yourself in.
Yeah, the complexity of it is really funny, because a lot of the tricks that you would love to perform are always very, very simple, and so they're the kinds of tricks that if you were to explain them to anybody, they'll be utterly disappointed. But then I think if you get to an intermediate stage in magic, you start falling in love with very, very complex, probably very sleight heavy tricks, or I certainly did, where you're doing lots and lots of moves to accomplish one tiny thing. And then as you get better and better and better as a magician, you kind of revert back to a lot of the simple ideas, but then add layers of complexity in different ways. So now I think I'm kind of trying, particularly with this show, I'm trying to blend kind of layers of complexity over the top of each other.
And there's so many different kinds of things, and I'm always amazed when I see someone like Derren Brown, for instance. I've probably seen about 15 of his shows, and every time he's got to think up something. Where do you get your ideas from? Because, I mean, you'd think, well, you've probably exhausted everything.
I think a lot of the time it comes from being in Edinburgh. When you're here, you're just surrounded by so many incredible people, and you're getting to watch some of the best shows I've ever seen have been Edinburgh shows. And it's just the most inspiring thing. So normally, being surrounded by that, I do pick up on the odd idea here and there, and then or just kind of like start formulating an idea. Like, it was very easy to go from show 1 to show 2 because obviously it was based on a review, and then kind of a narrative arc came out of that. Whereas this time around, I started with an idea that then never really came to fruition in the writing process, and then we stumbled upon a way to have a lot of magical ideas come together at the end in the same way that you would have kind of like a musical reprise. So all of the ideas kind of converging at the end of the show. But then we didn't really have a narrative. And then so the really challenging part of this year was trying to find that arc through the show. So yeah, it kind of every show is different. Sometimes it comes out of an idea, sometimes it comes out of a trick, sometimes it comes out of like something you just want to accomplish. I remember I was very lucky. I got to work for Derren for a bit, and he is obsessed with images. I think that's a really nice way of putting it. Like, he really wants like a particular, like almost like vignette on stage, and that's how he kind of constructs the show. So he starts with a vignette, ends the first half with a vignette, opens the second half with a vignette, and then the end has another image, and it's all of those images that he goes through the show. I'm not quite at that point yet. I can barely string a few tricks together, I feel like, a lot of the time.
But you're the greatest magician in the world, I've been told, yes. But you've gone on record as saying this is your most personal and ambitious show. What would you mean by that?
Well, the first show was really kind of just my best material to that day, or just put in a show. The second show was more of a narratively driven show. There were narrative constraints to what the tricks that I could be using are. Whereas this show, it wasn't intended, but over the course of writing it has just become more and more personal, and it's been a really good opportunity for me to be honest with an audience, which I think is very difficult as a magician.
Yes, you're liars, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, and also you learn pretty quickly as a magician that lying is far more entertaining than the truth a lot of the time.
As Devon said, I'm honest about my dishonesty.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, but it's given me an opportunity to kind of fit around those two things. Like, how can I convince an audience that I'm telling the truth when I also have to lie to them in order to do the tricks?
And this venue, the Baby Grand, that's a venue you really do like.
Oh, I've seen some of my favourite shows in there. I've never performed in there, but I'd seen a lot of shows in there, and people had always described the room being like a really lovely room to perform in. But since going in, it's so lovely. I can hear everybody in the audience, which is always really lovely. The room is really dead sound-wise, which always really helps. So there's no like kind of rattling around, and it's on three sides, which might sound like a bit of a difficult thing for a magician. But I think what ends up happening is that magic is often a very communal experience, and when everybody's in rows looking in the same direction, people only can look left and right to see whether or not people are reacting. And so when you go into a room where people are able to look at each other, they see each other reacting. And then that becomes kind of a much more communal experience for them. And so I think it actually helps magic, people being able to see each other when you're on kind of like three sides in kind of a thrust, as it's called in the industry.
Now, one part of your act, which I noticed in the press release, which I did read, said there's a part on the show which will blow your mind. And now, obviously, I'm not asking you to tell me what it is, but it'll sell a few tickets, won't it?
The ending of the show, I think, is probably my best work to date in terms of bringing a load of ideas that I've kind of thrown out in the show and then all of them coming together at the end. And some of them are I'm very proud of because they're quite complex card ideas, but then there's also stuff that isn't card magic that I'm doing on stage for the first time. I'm just really excited about the ending of the show in particular, and like just those ideas kind of rolling over. And
And it's so important, the ending, isn't it? I mean, Derren Brown's endings, like everything comes together. You think, well, where does this fit in? And then it all comes together at the end. And is that what you're kind of referring to, the fact that you're doing a different ending this time, bringing this into the show?
Yeah, I mean, Derren gets to do it because he's a mind reader, and also can put thoughts in people's heads. So when he's constructing a show, having a show where it looks like he's been in full control the entire time is in terms of a narrative arc, is incredible, and very, very well within his character. But my character or my persona on stage isn't somebody that is in full control the entire time, or maybe hopefully presented to an audience isn't in full control the entire time. So how do you get a confluence of ideas at the end when you're not necessarily in control? Like that's the challenge, I think, and I feel like I've definitely got that.
So just finally, you've got this extra show as well, which is your old show at the Edinburgh, a stripped back version really. It's venue 322, and everyone's raving about this new venue, Edinburgh, so I'm looking forward to seeing it myself. But that's one night only on the 27th of August at 6:45. Does that get you a little bit confused if you're kind of switching from one show to the other, and halfway through the other one you're thinking, oh, hang on, that's the other show?
I hope not.
You got one chance to prove it.
One chance, yeah. It's a show that I've done so much, The Greatest Card Magician in the World. I actually took it on tour last year across the UK, and then obviously I think I've done it about 100 times, that show. So about a week out from that show, I'll start getting ready on the script.
Yeah.
But what's a fascinating thing with magic is that it's tied to physical things. So if I know whereabouts in the show I am based on where the props are and things like that. So that really helps with memory. And once I know that I'm into one routine, half of it is the procedure of that routine. So as long as I know the little bits that kind of fit everything together, I'm completely fine. And I think there's no risk of any crossover between the shows.
Right. And is this the last time you'll be performing this particular show?
As far as I am aware, I think this is the last time I'm ever going to do it.
But never say never, I get that.
Yeah, never say never. You never know. It might be one of those things that like in 10 years' time I go, I had a really lovely time doing that show. I might bring it back for one more. But yeah, in my head, this is the last time I'm ever going to do it.
But the new one, Just Let Me Have This, that is what you're promoting for today. It's at the Baby Grand. It's right up to August the 30th, apart from the 19th, where you are allowed a one day off. 3:25 p.m, venue 33 at the Pleasance, and it's highly recommended. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Susie. Thank you so much, Stuart.
After the break, my daily walk along the Royal Mile, chatting to all kinds of people from earlier this morning.
Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
I want to tell you a true story. Many years ago, a humble young musical comedian was approached by some radio producers and asked if he might contribute one of his comedy voices to a new segment for their network's most popular show. For many years, this young man delighted in answering questions from people all over the world and bringing a little simple joy to his troubled land, while all the time, nobody knew who he really was. But now his story can finally be told. Mitch Ben is Asking Elvis, coming soon to a theater near you. Thank you very much.
Black Blues Brothers, Let's Twist Again. Fringe favourites, the Black Blues Brothers are back. Expect a rock and roll jukebox, a train station and lots of acrobatics. Every day from August 5th to August 31st at 5 p.m. at McEwan Hall, Bristow Square. Tickets available at edfringe.com.
This August, discover the best comedy, cabaret, kids shows and more at the Free Festival. With over 360 daily shows, there's something for everybody at a price for everyone. Donate what you think the show's worth at the end, or book pay what you can tickets to keep the Fringe accessible for everyone. The Free Festival, the real spirit of the Edinburgh Fringe. Full programme at freefestival.co.uk.
I cannot believe he asked me to do OnlyFans.
Hold on, let's talk about this.
There's nothing to talk about.
We're always complaining about money.
Then get another job. I am not selling my body. I'm listening to me now. I'm good at this.
15 Minutes of Shame from the 7th to the 30th of August at 7:20 at Playground 2 at Zoo Playground. Tickets at edfringe.com.
Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
So another day at the Edinburgh Fringe. It's the 11th day out of 28, non-stop of course here in the capital, and it's always good to come up and see different acts, and we've got another one here to add to the long list, and this is the Edinburgh Fringe Festival performance of Almost Everything. And Lauren's here, Verity's here, of course, holding the camera at the moment, and we've got Ben as well. Ben, let's start with you. What's your involvement?
So me and Lauren wrote the play together. We also star in it, I suppose you could use the word. So we play Charlie and Becca, who are two characters who end up intertwined, and Verity plays Emily. She's the older sister of Becca. And it ends up these two sisters unknowingly fall in love with the same guy who I play, Charlie.
You were lucky then.
Very, 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 very indeed, yeah.
Two lovely young ladies, Verity and Lauren, wasn't it? Lauren. So Lauren, how did you get involved with this?
So I originally 2 years ago wanted to write a play for the Edinburgh Fringe, and it didn't work out, and then I met Ben, mentioned it to him, and he was like, I'd love to write a play. So then we co-wrote together. It was like a project that we're really passionate about because it explores themes that we really relate to. And yeah, I also act in it. We both produced it last year, and now we're producing it this year. So yeah, that's my involvement.
So this is a production that's got legs.
It's got legs. It's got a lot of legs.
A lot of legs. Verity, now let's see, let's try out your multi-skills. I was going to say she was going to film me, filming her, filming you, but I don't care. I'll do it whichever way you like. Oh, it's a selfie now. Verity, you're involved with this, and there's a bit of a triangle going on then.
There is a bit of a triangle. So I play Emily, who is Becca's older sister, and I come in the play sort of halfway through. I don't know what's happened so far. I come in and I'm a bit besotted with Charlie. I think he's very charming, very handsome, and I fall in love with him, and it gets very messy.
Oh my goodness. Lauren, it gets messy. It gets messy, Lauren. What's going to be happening?
Okay, without giving any spoilers away, expect gossip, expect a bit of shouting, expect a few tears, expect a roller coaster of emotions. Yeah, it gets very, very chaotic, but it all comes together in a beautiful ending, in my opinion.
It's a very, very, very uncomfortable monologue, almost near the end.
Yes.
This is from you, is it?
It's not from me.
It's from my character, Becca. Yeah, it's a very uncomfortable monologue. Actually, someone used it for their drama school audition this year and got into five drama schools. So we're really happy about that.
Fantastic. So we can't give away the ending because obviously we want people to come in and have a little look. But Verity, I mean, this is a nice kind of meaty little play, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, they've padded out Emily's character from last year in the writing, so I've got a lovely little part. Emily's a bit more forthcoming than Becca. Yeah. She's a bit more blunt. She's a bit more confident. So I very much come on, do my thing, and I create a lot of drama. And I don't know.
You're a drama queen.
A little bit, yeah.
Yes.
In real life too, so it's perfect.
What Lauren's talking about is a happy ending at the end of this. I can't imagine what that could possibly be. Ben, maybe you can fill us in without giving the plot away, of course.
Without giving anything away, we want, after the roller coaster of the audience go on, we want the ending to be a nice big warm hug for everyone in the room.
There's a lot of focus on the sisterhood and about how sometimes you don't say what you probably should say, and then looking back, well, I don't know, we want the audience to leave thinking, maybe I should say that thing to that person who's important to me.
So they really get involved, Lauren.
Yes, they very much do get involved. And yeah, Ben phrased it really well. We want it to be a warm hug, but equally people will leave with a lot of question marks and a lot of questions, I guess, unanswered, and maybe making up little endings in their head, which is nice.
Now, of course, we come out here every day on the Royal Mile. Sometimes we go to Bicester Square as well, because there's obviously different productions going on there. It's just luck of the draw, really, when we bump into people. However, I was coming away from a show last night and I was accosted by these three people, and they said, "Oh, can you help us promote our play?" And I said, "Well, yes, I can. We're kind of fully booked and stuff, but we do have the Royal Mile Walk. If you're here at Radisson Blu Hotel at 11 o'clock, I will have a little chat with you." And fair play, you turned up, and I hope we've got the message out there, Ben.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us on.
Thank you for being persistent.
Yay!
And I think it was you, Verity, wasn't it, who initiated this?
I did, yeah. I approached you. I saw your lanyard, and I thought, that's my target. And it worked.
We've worked out. We've all got orange lanyards.
That's the ones.
We're coming for the orange lanyards.
Well,
Hide your lanyard.
there's one thing we haven't actually mentioned yet, is where and when it's taking place. So it's Braw Venues at Grand Lodge, which is venue 7. So if you've got your telephone directory called the Edinburgh Fringe, book 12 o'clock. And it's all the way through to the 30th. Except for Wednesdays.
Except for Wednesdays,
what
that's our
happens
day
on Wednesdays? Is that when you make up with each other?
We go feral on a night out.
It's a Tuesday night that it all happens on.
So you've got to recover. Wednesday's recovery day.
Yes, we do. We recover on a Wednesday.
Well, I'm sure that by chatting to each other now, we've found out that this is a rather good play to go and see. And if you've heard it and you want to see almost everything, then obviously it's guaranteed by these three people. Tremendous young actors going through the phases to hopefully great things in the future. Thank you, Verity, Lauren and Ben, and good luck with almost everything.
Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you so much, Stuart. Thank you.
There we are. Onwards and upwards we go, up the Royal Mile, and this is a play actually that we were promoting in the first day. It's now day 11, so about time we promoted it again. It's called Make Your Mirror Be Me by Kirsty Housley, and I've got Fifi and also who are you?
I'm Isla.
Hello, Isla. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. It's a lovely sunny day again. We've had a bit of rain, but once again, every time I come up the Royal Mile, it's sunshine. And you've got a nice, sunny, smiley face, and you're going to tell us all about Make Your Mirror Be Me.
Yeah, so Make Your Mirror Be Me, it's a play that I'm doing with a cast of all teenage people, all incredibly talented people, with a great director, great stage manager, and the story is, it's all about community, folklore and friendship. There's a friend group and one of their friends goes missing, the character that I play goes missing, and while they try and find her, they're also grappling with learning from folklore and stories from the past and how we learn from those. And yeah, it's an incredible play. Yeah.
And there's music involved?
Yes. So me and 3 of my other friends, we all wrote live music that happens in majority of the scenes, and at the end I wrote a song called What's So Wrong that is the final kind of song of the production.
And if we can find it, we will be playing it straight after this, so hang around for that. And Fifi, your involvement?
Yeah, so I play a little bit of music at the back, and my character is sort of a sassy teenage girl who brings some fun and some laughter to the group. And it's a lot of fun. There's some dancing involved and a lot of silliness. So it's quite an uplifting thing to come and watch. Also incorporating some important things about stories from the past and the ways we remember them. So it's very interesting. Yeah, I would recommend coming if you have the chance.
We have somebody else here.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Rufus. I think that's been said brilliantly by the both of them, I'm sure. Very eloquent. But I just want to add, yeah, it's wildly uplifting, informative, some darker elements to it, lots of light and shade. Music is used to add atmosphere to it. It's a very atmospheric play overall. If you like the sound of that, I think you guys would really enjoy it.
Sounds like the play is everything, isn't it?
It has got everything. It's got everything.
And that's what you want now. We spoke to you on the first day, I believe. Give us your name again.
JJ McAllister.
That's right, JJ McAllister. How's it going, basically? That's, 10 days now?
Yeah, so we've done, I think, 7 performances now. We've got 3 left. It's been amazing. We've had loads of big audiences. Everyone's kind of come up to us after and say how good the show was, how much they enjoyed it. And it's just been such a great run of shows. 3 more left. We'll finish strong, hopefully. And yeah, it's not only been great fun, but it's just been such a great experience all round. Exactly, me and I again put our music out there. I mean, we get to act. It's brilliant. Everyone's getting something done. It's amazing.
Yeah, and you love the Fringe, don't you?
Oh my gosh, it's like my favourite place in the world. It's so cool.
Is this your first Fringe, or you've done before?
It's my first Fringe and my first time in Scotland as well. So,
oh really?
Yeah, great first impression.
Where are you from?
London.
Oh right, so it's a long old trip up here. Yeah. How did you decide to let's do the Edinburgh Fringe with this?
A lot of my best friends are doing it, and I'm really passionate about drama and music, so when the opportunity arose, I just thought, hell yeah, obviously I'm going to do that. That's right up my street, and I'm really glad I said I would. So
and what's the ambitions? There's music there, there's acting obviously.
Just like getting the music out there, like getting used to performing on stages. They get bigger and bigger hopefully over time. Yeah, just constantly doing what I'm passionate about.
So there'll be people screaming at the radio right now saying, well, when, where, why, this sort of thing. It's on to the 16th of August, so you've only got a few days left to take advantage of it. 12:30, the Cowgate, which is part of the Underbelly. So it's Make Your Mirror Be Me by Kirsty Housley. And it's highly recommended. Well, I think yesterday it was, or the day before, I kind of lose track here, but we spoke to the 2 guys involved with Britain's Got Nonsense. One was doing a rather dodgy Louis Walsh impression, I have to say, and an even dodgier Simon Cowell. But they did mention that there were 2 very attractive young ladies who were playing the part of Amanda Holden and one of the others as well. Sharon Osbourne, that's right. So, Amanda Holden has joined us, and wearing the most amazing glasses, red hearts. What is your name?
My name's Cara Pearl.
And how did you get involved in this?
Well, I wanted to do a show at the Edinburgh Fringe. I'm primarily a film actress, but I wanted the opportunity to come experience the Fringe, so I applied for it and got the part. And it's been an awesome journey. I've never done stage before, so this is my first one, but it's been so much fun to do a very silly and fun show with amazing cast as well.
Now, a lot of people do it the other way, don't they? They start on the stage and then move into film. So you're already in films. I should be kneeling down here, shouldn't I? What films have you been in?
Well, I would say some very small independent films that you probably haven't heard of yet.
But try me anyway.
Ice Twister. It's a natural disaster thriller a very small indie, low-budget feature film. That was one of my first ones. And another one, probably haven't heard of because it hasn't come out yet, is called Sinkhole. It's also another thriller, natural disaster. It was a very cool one to film, and that was my second film.
But remember, films have a life of their own, so they can be laying dormant for 20 years, and then all of a sudden it becomes a cult classic. Could happen.
It could, fingers crossed.
So what's the ambitions for you?
I would like to continue in film. I do have a very exciting project coming up soon, which I can't say much about, but it is filming in India, which will be very exciting because I've never been there before. But I'd like to continue in film and hopefully get on TV and some more well-known film projects.
Well, best of luck playing Amanda Holden.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
There it is. It's Britain's Got Nonsense, and of course it is available at the Studio, Venue 7, Grand Lodge, George Street. Tickets £14, concessions £12, and of course you get your tickets from edfringe.com. And we wish you all the best of luck with it.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
On to another new play that we haven't heard of yet or covered on Fringe Radio. It's Wiener Beacon by Alexa Laliberté. Is that close?
Close enough.
Alexa's here now. How is it properly pronounced?
La Liberté.
Oh yeah, I was way out.
We're Canadian.
Canadian. Oh, there's someone else here. Hello.
Hi, my name is Ava. I play Schneider in Wiener Beacon.
You're wearing a box.
I am. It's my costume. And we have another box that you'd have to come see the show and find out. But my husband, Jesus Saves, also wears a box on his head as well.
2 boxes for the price of one. Now tell me about Wiener Beacon.
So we're from Southern Ontario. I'm from a town called Kitchener, and on the highway to get there are 2 billboards, one for sausages, which is called Schneider's, the other one says Jesus Saves. So we are thrown into another world where these 2 billboards are in a marriage, a dysfunctional marriage, and they get couples counseling.
Where do these ideas come from for the Fringe? I mean, you think you've seen everything or heard everything, and then you pop up.
It comes from a lot of long, boring drives from Toronto to Kitchener back and forth for school.
It affects you, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, we'll talk to you again now over here. Where is it and when is it?
Okay, so we have a show today at 12:30. We run basically every other day practically at 12:30, and then the last 2 days of the month, or so August 26th and August 28th, we run at 4:15 p.m. at
Right.
Venue 13.
Venue 13, very important to tell them where they're actually going to go.
Just right down the Royal Mile.
Down the Royal Mile as opposed to up the Royal Mile?
Yes.
Okay, well look, we wish you all the best of it, and well done coming from Canada to show us what you've got to offer, which is mainly sausages, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, have a good one.
Right, well here's another show that we promoted earlier on called Tap Out, and I've been reading about this, of course, in the lead up to it. We get email after email after email, and Tap Out was definitely one which kind of stood out, and it had a punch bag as well, didn't it? Matt and Connor are here at the moment, and Connor's got a poster. It says, "Come watch me fight an invisible man." Tell us about that, Connor.
Well, Tap Out's a one-man show, so therefore, apart from Matt's co-star of the punching bag, that's it. So you will see Matt fight an invisible man during the show. Whether he wins or loses, you have to come see to find out.
You are the writer and the director.
Yes, I am, unfortunately so.
How did it all come about?
Well, I'd been really fortunate to help some friends getting their Fringe shows remounted last year, because I worked down in London as a producer a lot of the time, and I was like, I've been putting off every year being like, I'm going to do the Fringe, and a year would pass, I'd never do it. I was like, I'm going to do it this year, and so I trawled back through all the old ideas I have in notebooks, and I found this idea of a man who posted online saying, am I a bad person because I'm going out and I'm looking for fights, and I'm fighting this one guy over and over again? And I thought, wow, that's fascinating, what type of person is he? And then from sort of picking apart that idea over time, I managed to work out what the story could potentially be, and that's now we're here, which is insane.
And then, of course, you had to find an actor, and Matt is the man who is playing the part of the one man, one mission, one mask to fight as many strangers as possible. How's it going at the moment?
It's going pretty well. We had a reviewer in yesterday evening and a very supportive audience, so hopefully that'll get the numbers up. But yeah, we're really enjoying ourselves at the Fringe at the moment.
And of course it's taking place at the Patter House Gilded Balloon on the way to the 31st of August. You're going all the way through, and that's 6:20. It says the Curry. Is that the name of the bit within Patter House?
Yes, the room we're in, yeah.
How big is the room?
It's quite small, it's 60-seater capacity, but yeah, we're all in there, very, very sandwiched, and it's a very intimate space, which works, I think, for this kind of show, because it's really engaging. I'm able to really keep the audience engaged and sort of focused on me, and it really sort of pushes them through the story.
That's one of the great things about the Fringe, though. I mean, some plays just would not convert to a big theatre.
Yeah.
This gives you the opportunity, and it gives the punters a great opportunity to see it in the right surrounding.
With the show and the way that it's set and in that space, it really gives Matt a very unique kind of relationship with them. It allows people to really get sunken into the world and run with him through this kind of odyssey of like violence and madness, which has been absolutely wonderful to see. And it's nice because the show does, despite what it may sell as, it has emotional undertones, and it's been really lovely to see, particularly older men who've come to see it, and it's clearly touched something within them and their experiences, and you know, it's really got through to them and made them feel something, which has been nice. It's very rare that we find older male audiences in tears, which has happened a few times during our show, which has been absolutely lovely.
And that's down to you and your writing, isn't it?
Partly that, but also Matt and his wonderful performance.
Of course, his interpretation of your words. Anyway, all the best with it. You're on till, as I said, the 31st of August, all the way through to the Dead Monday at the end. Yeah. All the best to it, and we'll see you again soon, no doubt.
Very much.
More from the Royal Mile later, but you heard me chat with the cast of Making Your Mirror Be Me, featuring Lisa J, and we've dug up the song which ends the show, and here it is. It's called What's So Wrong.
I'm a girl and you're the worst. Tell a joke, you said it first. Call me friend, but keep me close. I'm the best thing that you own. And when I'm about to let it go, you say there's no need to be shy. Just come get some loving from me. There's no reason to hide. Just come get some loving from me. Oh, I don't know what's so wrong with being so promiscuous. I thought you were into this. I don't know what's so wrong with feeling all this confidence. I thought you were into this. It's a game, keep me up all goddamn night, talking about the girls you like. I'm your girl, you say it best. Got your heart stuck in my chest. And when I'm about to get it wrong, you say there's no need to be shy. Just come get some loving from me. There's no reason to hide. Come get some loving, come get some loving, 'cause I don't know what's so wrong with being so promiscuous. I thought you were into this. I don't know what's so wrong with feeling all this confidence. I thought you were into this. You blocked my number on your phone, threw out everything perfume. I don't know what's so wrong with being so promiscuous. I thought you were into this, and you still keep me up, and you still pull my hair, and you still wear my shirt every time it gets bad again. And you still keep me up, and you still pull my hair, oh, and you still wear my shirt every time it gets bad again. 'Cause I don't know what's so wrong with being so promiscuous. I thought you were into this. I don't know what's so wrong with feeling all this confidence. I thought you were into this. You blocked my number on your phone, threw out everything. everything I own, just to get rid of the scent of my perfume. I don't know what's so wrong with being so promiscuous. I thought you were into this.
From the play Making Your Mirror Be Me, that's Lisa J who sang that song, What's So Wrong, at the end of the production, which you can see at the Cowgate at Underbelly till the 26th of August at 12:30.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Well, my next guest on the show is Chris Forbes, whose show is called Father Christmas at the Monkey Barrel 2. It's happening at 1:30 every day. Welcome to the programme.
Thank you for having me on.
Now,
Pleasure.
it's the mid-20s in August at the moment. I've just been on the Royal Mile walk and I'm sweating. And you've got a show called Father Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Explain.
Beautiful Christmas weather we're having this time of year. Yeah, the show is a lot to do with the fact that I became a father again last December, so I guess...
Oh, congratulations.
Essentially becoming a Father Christmas. But there's obviously elements of the show that are to do with other times of the year. So the show is set at Christmas, it's very much Christmas themed, but it deals with issues that traverse the season of Christmas, you know, family and traditions and loss and love and friendships. And so it was really a novel way of setting the show somewhere that spoke to all those different emotions and themes.
A lot of people love Christmas. Some people hate Christmas, but your show straddles the two.
Yeah, thankfully there's enough in the show for people that love Christmas to just enjoy the celebration of that particular holiday. But then, of course, there's parts of Christmas that I hate, and I speak about Christmases in the past that really didn't go the way that any of us would have thought. So there's plenty every year, I think, in Christmas for people to hate and love, and hopefully I've got the balance just right to appease people of both standings.
So August was just about okay. July probably wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, August, just the tipping point. Yeah.
But normally we'll get kind of wintry weather at the Fringe. I mean, I'm sure there's time yet, but it's been very, very pleasant so far. And of course, there are Christmas shops all year round, aren't there?
Yeah, one in the Royal Mile there. And we've very much been encouraging people to come along to the show in Christmas jumpers. And we've had people in hats and antlers, and it's been a lovely atmosphere.
And what is Christmas like in the Chris Forbes household?
Yeah, it's changed. You know, children are what make Christmas magical. So there's a lot in the show about that, about kind of almost falling out of love with Christmas. The kind of the essence of kind of starting to disbelieve, and not just in Santa Claus or Christmas, but in a wider range of things. So to see the magic come alive again in your children's eyes, and to have that joy be so infectious to you again, it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, it's lovely. I mean, at the moment, of course, my kids are 17 and 14, and so they don't believe anymore.
Oh,
it's a sad thing.
Yeah.
They told me apparently there's no such thing as Father Christmas. I was gutted. I was totally gutted.
Well, there is every day at 1:30, I'll tell you that. There's a room full of believers.
That's good news. A quick word, obviously, about Scott Squad. Of course, you play PC Macintosh. What a fun production that is.
Yeah, I still feel immensely grateful that happened, that it lasted for as long as it did, that I was involved in it for 10 years.
Was it 10 years?
Yeah, 8
Wow.
seasons across the 10 years. And it was beautiful. I think it was very much a kind of cult show for the first even 3-4 seasons, so that when people started to tune in season 5 and 6, they didn't realise it had been around for so long. And it was lovely to see it grow. It really lent itself to comedy performers. That's why a lot of the guests on the show were comedians from the stand-up world, because it was all improvised dialogue. So for someone that loves acting but loves comedy, it was a dream job. And just a pleasure to pull on the uniform and pretend I was someone of importance for a little while.
But isn't it lovely that, the BBC and other channels as well, who really take comedy very much to their heart, and they produce some wonderful stuff this side of the border. And in the past, some of it didn't really go outside Scotland, but now we've got the internet and stuff, and these shows are kind of popping up everywhere.
Yeah, it's finding more of an audience. I think Scotland is it's quite unique in that there's been massive shows in Wales and Ireland and Northern Ireland and even New Zealand, Australia, that will travel very well. But then there's something about the Scottish humour that sometimes it can sometimes just resonate with Scottish people. But I think, thankfully now, because it's not just confined to, BBC Scotland, that people are seeing clips online, that these shows are getting a more broad and global appeal.
And the success of, obviously, Billy Connolly since the 1970s and Kevin Bridges now, the Scottish accent. People love the Scottish accent and they're quite happy to accept Scottish people doing comedy. And there's something about the accent which it makes it into, it's either comedy or it's someone being murdered.
Yeah, I mean, having performed stand-up in America as well, you get away with murder. You don't really have to be even that funny. I feel like there's such an affection for Scottish people in the accent that the minute you come out and say, hello, they're going, oh my God, he's Scottish. Oh, this is so funny. And you only have to look at the Lovin' over in Boston from the Americans to the Scots. But yeah, I think that's been nice to see that as the Scott Squad clips have started to go more viral online, there's always tons of Americans or people around the world saying, where can we watch this? So hopefully, fingers crossed, one day it'll end up on a Netflix or BritBox or something.
Absolutely. I must, of course, talk to you, and you know what's coming now, the other Murray brother, which has been a viral sensation, where you play the part of Duncan Murray, the third brother, and of course you hooked up with Judy Murray, and no doubt you've had various conversations with Andy Murray as well. But how did it all come about? Because it even went into live shows, didn't it?
Yeah, we were very lucky to do a large tour of a live show that was just, I mean, even when I think of it now, it feels absolutely bizarre. I think when you start out in comedy, you don't think your great double act in life is going to be Judy Murray, but my God, she's funny and her timing's great. Initially, the idea, I was working for the BBC in a capacity as a kind of content provider on a platform called Short Stuff. And one of the ideas I'd had was about a third brother of a family. I hadn't really landed on the Murrays at that point. I was just obsessed with the fact that Liam and Noel Gallagher have a third brother that no one really speaks about. And actually I approached Danny McCaskill's kind of team at first to say, would he be up for a sketch where I play his brother that can't ride a bicycle? And kind of thankfully he wasn't up for it. So then I thought, well, why don't we shoot for the moon and ask if, even if Judy's not up for doing the whole thing, would she maybe be up for walking in the background at the very end and just kind of going, what a disappointment. But when she heard about the idea, she loved it. And when I asked if she would do more and more of the lines I was writing, she was just nailing them. So thankfully, she just loved being mean to this other son. So it just snowballed from there.
Yeah, and absolutely fantastic that, someone like that will buy into an idea. Because, I mean, had she said no, then, we wouldn't be talking about that now.
Yeah, most likely. I think it would have worked as a nice wee sketch about this third brother, but she brought a believability to it as well. I think that was the big thing, that even now there's people going, I thought he was real, and people tell me when they're disappointed when they find out that he isn't, and I feel like I'm breaking their hearts. So yeah, she brought a lot of gravitas to it.
And what was Andy's reaction?
It was the first time I heard of his reaction was via Jamie, where Judy had got me to turn up at a Q&A event that they were doing, and she told me to gate crash it, assuming that she had told Jamie about this, but of course she had not. So I gate crashed a Davis Cup event Q&A with Leon was there as well, the captain, where I just barged in, and the look on his face was wild, but thankfully he went along with it. And afterwards, when he was talking to me, someone said to him, what does Andy think of it? And I said, I don't even know if he's seen it. And Jamie went, he's seen it. And I was terrified because I didn't really know what that meant, but thankfully he was absolutely fine with it. Him and Jamie both provided videos that we used in the live show. And I was very paranoid for a long time, thinking, what do they think about this? Why are they like, why is this guy now hanging out with her mum all the time? But no, thankfully they were approved.
But it's great as well for your own career. You've got The Farm and How Do I Get Up There, and many others as well. What are the next projects for you?
Yeah, I mean, I was so excited to then concentrate on this particular solo show that I'm doing at the Fringe. It's a show I've worked on for 2 years, when I really wanted to get just right. For anyone that comes to see it, they'll understand why it was important to get it just right. Thankfully, I've got some lovely projects further down the line as well. I was involved in a wonderful production last year of It's a Wonderful Life, a stage production, which not officially announced, but I think it's safe to say that people know that that's coming back at the end of this year.
Great news.
And I was involved in a short film project that's just about to start its festival run. So I think it's important everyone knows you have to kind of diversify or die really in this industry, and I've been lucky enough to work in a few different places. As one friend said to me, is there any particular medium that you haven't failed in yet? As I move around from sketch or acting or comedy, but I think you just need to do as much as possible.
And what do you enjoy the most? Is it the small sketches or being on Scott Squad or whatever?
Yeah, I really loved the sketch comedy, the live sketch comedy, because live work, it's the immediate reaction, the buzz and adrenaline of that immediacy is the thing that's electrifying. And you get that from stand-up, but what I love doing with sketch is that you're performing with two friends, so when it finished you had people to instantly talk about it with or debrief if it had gone badly with. Whereas stand-up, as brilliant as it can go, the minute the high is gone, then you're kind of, you're walking back to the car and driving home by yourself. So I love collaborating with people, I love working on funny projects as a team.
And what is the latest on Scott Squad?
Well, that's it, finished now.
Definitely not going to come back.
Never say never. It feels like that there's now never been a show in existence that someone hasn't tried to bring back at some point. So let's hope that maybe one day in the future we'll see if Charlie has risen through the ranks of the police force, or if the chief's been caught in a scandal, or it would be lovely to see us years later down the line.
Because it is something, I mean, some comedies, they come to a natural end, but with something like Scott Squad, I mean, there's plenty of material, surely, left.
Yeah, it's wonderful. The amount of, we always had real police officers on set with us as well, to make sure people didn't come up to us if they were in need. And they always said the stories were just, some of the realer stories were even more horrifying than the ones that we portray on stage. And they loved Jack's performance as the chief. They said it was so similar to some of the hierarchy in the police force. And so I think as long as the police is in existence, there's always going to be room for parody and stories about the political nature of that establishment.
And I bet they absolutely loved it.
Yeah, the police are the ones that always come up and say, oh, we loved that. And yeah, it's really nice, really satisfying.
Well, lovely to talk to you. We will plug your show again because it's on at the Monkey Barrel 2, venue 515. It's on till 30th of August. You've got a couple of days off on the 17th and the 24th, but it's 1:30, which is a pretty nice time, actually, isn't it?
Nice time to get home and help with dinner, bath and bedtime that my wife was very pleased about. So.
Yes, but was that an influence?
Yeah, it did play a part, needing to get an earlier show time.
I thought it would be, and it's called Father Christmas, so Christmas came early today.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling in.
Thanks for having me. Merry Christmas.
What are you crazy? How in the hell can you say what you just said?
I was talking to myself, shut the door and come to bed.
By the way, I forgot to say, your endearing mother called today.
Did you see Lisa?
Yes, I saw Lisa.
Is that why you're angry?
I wasn't angry.
Maybe a little.
Not even maybe.
Must be the weather.
Now don't be a baby.
Well, how am I supposed to feel with all the things you don't reveal? And you can thank your lucky stars that we're not as smart as we'd like to think we are.
Not much to say. We had lunch this afternoon. Her life's in disarray. She still goes around as if she's always stumbling off a cliff.
Do you still want her?
What are you saying?
Do you still want her?
Baby, stop playing.
Really, I mean it. Can you forget her?
Baby, now stop it. You should know better. I know this is hard to do, but there's no one for me but you. And you can thank your lucky stars that we're not as smart as we'd like to think we are.
but that's okay. You don't have to look so glum.
Do you still love me?
Yes, I still love you.
You mean you're not just being nice?
Not just being nice.
Do you feel sleepy?
Oh, you're so sincere. Yes, I feel sleepy.
We'll slide over here, 'cause I may not be all that bright, but I know how to hold you tight. And you can thank your lucky stars that we're not as smart as we'd like to think we are.
And you can thank your lucky stars that we're not as smart as we'd like to think we are.
And we can thank our lucky stars that we're not as smart as we'd like to think we are.
After the break, my special guest is Scottish comedian Susie McCabe.
Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
One story, two people. Amanda Crowley and Thomas Duncan. One lawyer, one mass murderer. The case is lost. She wants it anyways. Not to win, but to understand how monsters are made. Glimpse behind the societal masks, as with Monster Made, an intense character study, a captivating, psychological, intimate play is coming to the Fringe at Paradise in the Vault. Only the one who can change his mind can actually change something. Monster Made runs from August 24th to August 30th. Book your seats today at edfringe.com.
What is the most powerful force in the universe? This August, magician and physicist Kevin Quantum brings an all-new Fringe show to Edinburgh. Invisible Force. Expect brand new magic inventions, impossible moments you'll never have seen before, and astonishing illusions where science and mystery collide. Electricity crackles, reality bends, and you'll leave questioning what's actually possible. Funny, surprising, and unlike anything else at the Fringe. Search Quantum at edfringe.com and discover Kevin Quantum, Invisible Force.
This August, discover the best comedy, cabaret, kids shows and more at the Free Festival. With over 360 daily shows, there's something for everybody at a price for everyone. Donate what you think the show's worth at the end, or book pay what you can tickets to keep the Fringe accessible for everyone. The Free Festival, the real spirit of the Edinburgh Fringe. Full programme at freefestival.co.uk.
Print it, copy it at the copyandprintshop.com.
Your printing is made easy at the Copy and Print Shop. We specialise in rapid printing services, leaflets, posters, brochures, banners, business cards and more. Collect your order at our Glasgow print shop or have it delivered wherever you are. Find out more at thecopyandprintshop.com.
Print it, copy it at the copyandprintshop.com.
One of Australia's best tribute acts, the 64, make their Edinburgh Fringe debut with 70s Jukebox. At the Assembly Rooms, Bijou, Venue 20, you'll enjoy powerhouse vocals, slick choreography, and full-on energy as the 64 bring you the best music of the 70s. They're relishing the opportunity to play for an Edinburgh audience for the very first time at 2:30 every afternoon from the 18th to the 30th of August. Get your tickets now at edfringe.com.
For 31 years, The Space UK has championed new writing and exciting companies from across the world, giving artists an affordable, supportive and professional platform at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe. Now presenting one of the Fringe's largest and most diverse programmes across 19 theatres and 6 venues, there's always something new to discover at The Space UK. Explore the programme and book at thespaceuk.com.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Well, it's not every day you get to meet a national treasure, but Susie McCabe is certainly one of those, and a warm welcome to the programme.
Thank you very much.
Now, great to see you. You're looking very, very well. How are you, in fact, because you've obviously been through a few bad times.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. A weekend, so no, I'm fine. Everything's going all right. We just need to keep going.
And you certainly do that, and you're relentless, aren't you? I mean, you're all the way through to the 30th of August. Do you have any days off at all?
Just one on the 17th.
Right.
Just one. So I'll go home on the Sunday evening and I'll sleep in my own bed.
Oh, that's nice.
And I'll have a day in Glasgow, and then I'll come back on the Tuesday.
That sounds good to me.
Nice.
And it's the Assembly George Square, isn't it, which is the Gordon Aikman Theatre.
The Gordon Aikman, yeah.
8:45 p.m.
8:45 prime time. Lovely stuff. It's quite warm in Edinburgh just now, so it's got air conditioning. That's my main selling point for the show. I have air conditioning.
I was at the zoo playground yesterday. It must have been 40 degrees. It was hell.
It's too much, isn't it? It's just too much. So yeah, no, air conditioning and comfy seats.
Was that in your rider to the contract?
Pretty much, aye.
Now, because you were the winner of the Billy Connolly Spirit of Glasgow Award, what does that mean to you?
Shortlisted by a panel, and then it went to Billy, and obviously, you know, for him to tell you your own joke, and for him to say how much you made him laugh and stuff like that, it's just amazing. So it means a lot, and it means a lot because I grew up watching Billy and listening to Billy and all that. So yeah, no, it's one of the best moments in my life.
You're welling up, aren't you? The thought of that. You're very emotional about that award.
Yeah, because I just think, like, to have picked up that award and for him to tell you your own joke and stuff, and I just go, you know, I grew up listening to that man, and here I am with his face in my room and he's facing my house. So, you know, it's good.
Would you say that he's probably your comedy hero?
100%. 100%. He's the godfather of modern comedy. He took us away from mother-in-law jokes and the sexism and the misogyny and the homophobia, because his material still stands the test of time.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's not inappropriate for the modern world, which I think tells you everything about him as a man and him as a person, where he could really have punched down and chose not to. Whereas nowadays we've got comedians who choose to punch down.
Did you go back and look at the old, like, the comedians on Granada Television, which are all over YouTube now, and the Bernard Mannings, the Frank Carsons and people like that?
I can't bring myself, because it's actually just revolting, the stuff that was said. And do you know what? There was just such an ingrained misogyny in that. And one day people will do the same with all the transphobic stuff and all that, and that's how that'll be remembered, and all the homophobic stuff and everything. And I'm a great believer you can say what you want as long as you take responsibility for what comes out your mouth.
Exactly.
Right? A lot of people at this Fringe have talked about, should Amanda Knox do it, should Amanda Knox not do it. No one is the arbiter of who should do comedy and who shouldn't, and no one's the arbiter of what you should and what you shouldn't talk about. As long as you're willing to stand by what you've spoken about, I think that's the important thing. But you know, your legacy in 20, 30 years' time might not be the legacy that you want.
And it's interesting as well, because I mean, I go back to those days of Love Thy Neighbour and things. I mean, you never get it on television nowadays.
No.
Even the episode of Fawlty Towers about the Germans, with the racism in that, and it was completely different time zone. That has to come into perspective, I suppose.
Yeah, it absolutely does. It was a completely different time socially and all that, but we were still picking on marginalised communities. We were still the white person laughing at the black person, which was fundamentally wrong.
How did it take us so long to work this out? Because it's just, I mean, now it's like it's an open and shut case.
I think as the kind of rise of alternative comedy in the early 80s came through, and as the world moved on, and as generations started to look at that language and not feel comfortable with it, because, it was terrible. We can all kind of hide behind it is what it is and it was of its time. But we can also be like, we could actually be a bit better and learn from this, but it would appear that sometimes we just haven't learned from it. It might not be on TV, but with the advent of social media and the removal of the filtering that happens with TV, it's just there now, isn't it? It's just there. So, yeah, Love Thy Neighbour would definitely not make television now.
Absolutely.
But some views, some really horrific views, will make Instagram. They will make TikTok, they will make Facebook, and they're still there. Social media removes gatekeepers, it also removes filtering and protection.
How do you feel about the likes of, I'll just pick two out, Jimmy Carr, Ricky Gervais now, who really don't give a damn at all?
Yeah, and that, listen, if I was a white heterosexual middle-aged man, I wouldn't care either. if I'm a multi-millionaire, I wouldn't care either, you know, but it's like I said, everyone's got to take responsibility for what comes out their own mouth and what comes out their own face. And if that's what you want to do and all that, I'm actually fine with it. And I'm actually fine with the content, because I go, well, it's your right to say that. I might not agree with it, I might not find it funny, and it might not be comfortable for me to say.
But you've got to set your own standards, I suppose, what you're saying, isn't it?
Exactly. And if those guys think, you know, maybe if you spoke to them, they would argue that they're doing this to put the shock factor in so that people aren't shocked and you can say what you want or whatever it is, right? It's fine. But you've just got to take responsibility and understand, maybe for them, like, their legacy will be massive in British comedy. And maybe for them, they have to balance what the legacy is to who they are now and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, say what you want, do what you want, but be prepared for maybe a backlash or people not to like it or people not to go and see you. But at the end of the day, those two guys are sitting with quite fat bank accounts.
Just a bit.
Their careers are going all right.
Yes.
You know, I don't think they need to come to Edinburgh for a run. And yeah, so who am I to tell two very successful comedians in this country that, I mean, especially kind of both in their own ways have shaped comedy in this country, to do that? And also, it's very easy to sit here as a fringe act and go, oh, well, you know, look how easy I've got it. Yeah, you know, everybody's doing their bit. Everybody's got to do their own thing and find their own path.
Yeah. Having said all that, of course, Coming of Rage is the name of your show, and, well, got plenty to rage about.
Yeah, a lot in my personal life, a lot in the world. We talk about things that have happened in my life, and we talk about things that are happening in the world and my views on it, and the kind of behaviour and the difference of behaviour between the generations, because, you know, never has the gap between the millennial generation and the Gen Z generation been as wide to the generation under them, which is my generation, the Gen X. Because Gen X, baby boomers and their grandparents, the war generation, essentially had the same upbringing. We played in the streets, we ate jam sandwiches, right, all of that. Whereas those two generations are the first generations with that technology gap. And by having that technology at their fingertips, it changed the world, and the world really changed. But they don't really fitter back into the analogue world, and the analogue world's constantly trying to catch up with them. So there's some really big differences in this universe that we're living in now, and I kind of defend and attack equally both sides. So yeah.
And I remember last year at the Fringe, Joe Caulfield did a similar kind of show. She had the old devil's horns on and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed it, because, I mean, it was kind of like she'd been, you know, getting all this stuff together and she wanted to let it out. And I get the feeling that this kind of show is a bit similar to yours, in that, you know, you can just let rip and say whatever you want.
It's also quite a joyful show. Like, I do, you know, it's a funny show, but it's also quite a joyful show. I think I always like people to leave with a wee spring in their step. I think that's a good way to finish a show.
You've done so many things so far in your career. You've done lots of television as well, stand-up, the whole bit. What's coming up for Susie McCabe?
Listen, I'll just keep working away and plugging away. We keep doing the writing, we keep producing shows, and we just enjoy the fact that you get to do this for a living.
Yeah.
Because you're one of the luckiest people in the world.
Yeah. And how long did it take you to actually put this show particularly together?
About 9 months. In fact, probably less than that, actually. 8 months, from September to February. Yeah.
And a lot of observational comedy, which I love.
Lots of observational comedy.
And of course, when we're talking about observation, obviously technology is going to come in, and I think one of the themes of your show is going to be talking about your mother.
Yes, talking about my 77-year-old mother, her in tech, me in tech, my mother with the world, me with my mother in the world, the challenges that come from having a 77-year-old in your life who still firmly lives in an analogue world.
Yes.
And, you know, my mum can barely work her phone, she can't send a text message, she doesn't do internet banking, so everything's just like, so we'll get the cheque and we'll put it in the bank like it's 1991. So there's a fair chunk of that going on.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to ask you as well, which I often ask other comedians, this thing, work in progress shows, which has been, we never really kind of heard of them, and in the last sort of five to 6 years or so, more and more people are doing these work in progress. They're actually doing it in front of an audience and trying out new material. Where do you stand on that?
Again, you know, far be it from me to be the arbiter of how you do your comedy. I like to come to Edinburgh prepared. I like to have a show. I like to know that it's a good show. I've maybe done small rooms as a work in progress, like all over, like, you know, in real kind of far out places in Scotland where I'm away from the main central belt, and I'll do a work in progress, but by that point it's pretty much a formed show, so it's really just the kind of road test. I'm not one for coming to Edinburgh and doing a work in progress. I understand why people would do it, 26 nights. The other side of that is that if you're doing a work in progress, it's a £5 a ticket, it's £8 a ticket. Don't be punting that at 15 quid a ticket you have got notes on the stage, right? Like, so there has to be a balance there. Understand if you're preparing for a tour and you want to come and you're like, yeah, I'm not quite polished yet, but you know, at the end of the day, this is your job, to write material. I just like to come to Edinburgh prepared.
Yeah,
you know, that's just me. But some people just like to dip in, and I get it because the cost of Edinburgh is so high.
Yeah.
They go, I'll go for a week, I'll show my face, and I'll work up some new stuff.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I can see both sides of it as well, because we had Alan Carr in the Borders once, and he was doing like Jedburgh Town Hall and Gala McCart's and things like that, and you would never see him in a venue like that, you know. No. So it's nice to
It's
to
great.
see that.
That stuff's great, and that's when you know as a punter, I'm going to see a really big act, work up material, and it's a peek behind the curtain for you.
Yeah.
But I think if you've got a fully formed show and you go just call it a work in progress, nah, you're cheating.
Anyway, no work in progress involved with yours, that's for sure.
No.
So you're at the Gordon Aikman Theatre, which is the Assembly, George Square, 8:45 all the way through to the 30th of August. I think it was the 17th you got off?
Yes.
Yeah, 17th.
17th.
It's lovely to meet you. And
lovely to be here.
Good luck with the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
brink. This is what the brink looks like. After this, islands will disappear, seasons will dissolve, and we'll look back at this moment and wonder, how did we let that happen? You are in a war you didn't know you were in. You are drowning and you didn't even know you were at sea. No one is coming to save you, so what are you going to do? We're not going to give up. We will wave the white flag.
We're changing the world to fly. Our planet is on fire and the flames are burning bright. The ocean's getting higher and oblivion's in sight. We're standing here to fight and we'll go down without a fight. If you raise us into hell, we're gonna give you hell tonight. We don't want the boys in sky, your songs and lips and cherry red. Cause the earth's already started, torch and pop and burn and bled. We'll fade into your silence, we won't follow where you led us. We're at this rain cabaret.
Music from the show Acid's Rain, and that was called Acid's Rain Cabaret, and you can see the show every day to the 31st except for the 24th at the 4th at Pleasance Courtyard at 3:45. Well, after the break, part 2 of my Royal Mile walk from earlier this morning.
Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
One of Australia's best tribute acts, the 64, make their Edinburgh Fringe debut with 70s jukebox. At the Assembly Rooms, Bijou, Venue 20, you'll enjoy powerhouse vocals, slick choreography, and full-on energy as the 64 bring you the best music of the 70s. They're relishing the opportunity to play for an Edinburgh audience for the very first time at 2:30 every afternoon from the 18th to the 30th of August. Get your tickets now at edfringe.com.
I cannot believe he asked me to do OnlyFans.
Hold on, let's talk about this.
There's nothing to talk about.
We're always complaining about money.
Then get another job. I am not selling my body. I'm listening to me now. I'm good at this.
15 Minutes of Shame from the 7th to the 30th of August at 7:20 at Playground 2 at Zoo Playground. Tickets at edfringe.com.
Black Blues Brothers, Let's Twist Again. Fringe favourites, the Black Blues Brothers are back. Expect a rock and roll jukebox, a train station and lots of acrobatics. Every day from August 5th to August 31st at 5 p.m. at McEwan Hall, Bristow Square. Tickets available at edfringe.com.
Print it, copy it at the copyandprintshop.com.
Your printing is made easy at the Copy and Print Shop. We specialise in rapid printing services, leaflets, posters, brochures, banners, business cards and more. Collect your order at our Glasgow print shop or have it delivered wherever you are. Find out more at thecopyandprintshop.com.
Print it, copy it at the copyandprintshop.com.
The science of chaos. Alternative history. Rock and roll. I'm Michael Anderson from Boston. And you've got to come to my multimedia fireworks Elvis in chaos. Hallucinatory images. Ecstatic raves. Greenside at George Street, first week of Fringe. Lime Studio, 5:15 p.m. Hey, pay what you can. You won't be bored.
What is the most powerful force in the universe? This August, magician and physicist Kevin Quantum brings an all-new Fringe show to Edinburgh. Invisible Force. Expect brand new magic inventions, impossible moments you'll never have seen before, and astonishing illusions where science and mystery collide. Electricity crackles, reality bends, and you'll leave questioning what's actually possible. Funny, surprising, and unlike anything else at the Fringe. Search Quantum at edfringe.com and discover Kevin Quantum, Invisible Force.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Okay, we've got Cain and Abel now, magicians, twin feet. They look very, very similar, but you're Cain.
I am Cain.
And you're Abel.
I am ready, willing and able.
That's right. Now, where is this taking place?
So we're on at the Liquid Rooms warehouse, which is the slightly larger of the two rooms, but it means that visually it's very, very good for our art form, which is, of course, magic. It means we've been able to bring some big props with us. We tour a lot on cruise ships throughout the year, and we've managed this year to bring our big spectacular finale, which I'm tempted to say, and this might upset some magicians, is the biggest magic trick that is at the festival this year.
Abel, can you confirm this?
Well, I haven't seen all the other magic shows on at the festival. I'm doing my best to get round them. What I do know is a real pain to get on the bus. So, you know, it's heavy and annoying, but the audiences are loving it and enjoying it. Bit of a Las Vegas spectacle, which is a bit slightly different to the rest of the show. The show is very much got a sort of concept and a theme to it. We're recreating a study of twins that we were part of when we were kids, but with a supernatural magical outcome. And then at the end of the show, we have this big over-the-top Las Vegas set piece that's got to be seen to believe.
You must be twins.
We are identical twins.
Yes.
We've got very similar voices. So the
You've got similar glasses and you've both got beards. Who chooses what style you're going to go out on?
Well, I like to be a little bit more clean-shaven. We like to appeal to the masses. So if you like a sort of scruffy, kind of rugged person, hippie kind of vibe, that's my brother ticking the boxes.
But then you've got to follow him.
Yeah, if you like somebody that, showers every day and keeps themselves slightly more groomed, I'm your guy.
This is your opportunity to answer back to that now.
That's brotherly love, isn't it? I mean, that's all you can put it down to it. The show does actually tackle the ideas of, we're identical twins, which obviously an identical twin is an egg that splits. A lot of people will be like, well, you must look totally identical. And, the show does tackle us looking exactly the same, why we look slightly different, what might have happened that kind of evolves you into choosing to look slightly differently, even as a twin. I'm the hairier of the two.
It's marginal.
It is.
And just to confuse me, of course, they're actually stood Abel and Cain, left to right rather than Cain and Abel. But there we are. Now, one thing I must ask you about, because we love magic here on Fringe Radio, and we've had Ben Hart in, Colin Cloud was in yesterday showing me an amazing trick, and Charlie Caper and people like that. So it's great to get Cain and Abel on as well. And you all seem to really get on with each other in the magic world.
We are very good friends, yeah. So Ben is someone that we've lived with up at the Fringe before. I actually worked backstage on one of his shows quite a few years ago when he did a show called Wonder. Colin we know, but we don't see him that often because he's in America now. And Charlie is obviously on in the same venue as us.
Living with Ben.
Living with Ben.
How do you feel about that?
I think it would be a little bit insane to live with those two. And robots running around everywhere as well, I think.
Yes, he's obsessed with robots, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, Charlie is a really inventive, incredible guy. And I think years ago, we've done the Fringe for 11 years now. And years ago, you could stand on the street and go, magic show. And people would be like, oh, cool, magic show. I wasn't thinking that. But the big sort of evolution is you've got to have more. So Charlie is the robot magician, Colin is the mind magician, we're the twin magicians. There's a wonderful magician called Ava Bow who's sort of a bit witchy and split personality, and everyone is making sure they've got this moniker and they've got a little bit more to them than just being a magician. And that is come, I would say, solely out of a demand from the audience for, okay, it's a magic show, but what else? So it's pushing us to be more creative and think, what can we do that's different to everybody else? And as a result, you get a real variety of magic shows at the festival.
And it's good to see Cain and Abel, because you're pretty high up in the old magic world there, aren't you? There's no doubt about that. And yet, you come out on the Royal Mile, you do your own leafleting and stuff like that, and interacting with the people. So, fair play to you both, and all the best. So I must of course mention where you're on. Liquid Rooms warehouse, 2:00, all the way through to the 30th. Any days off?
We've got 2 days off, actually. This show, some people might recognise it because we did perform it for half of the run last year, but we had to cut our run short last year, the first time we haven't done the whole run, and that's because my brother's baby was born halfway through the last run. So it's allowed us to develop this show. We've put some kickers on the end, added some little wrinkles to it, but we're taking 2 days off for my brother to go back to London for his for a birthday party.
Quite right as well. Well, we wish you all the best, and if I can make it, I will definitely be there.
We'd love to see you there, Stuart. Any day apart from the 23rd and the 24th. 23rd is the birthday, 24th I'll be travelling home.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Stuart.
Right, I'm not done yet because I have to speak to this person here.
do. Hi there.
Hi there. Now, this isn't a Scottish accent.
No, sir. I'm from Los Angeles, but our show has a full band and most of them are British.
Now, let me tell you, you're probably the best dressed on the Royal Mile. The blue tracksuit, and what a helmet you have.
Yeah, I appreciate that. This is the garb of my favorite video game character because we're running an interactive video game concert this month at Fringe.
This is brand new.
Yeah, brand new. I mean, it's new to Fringe. We are a world touring show, but not only is this our first time at Fringe, but we've written a special show just for Fringe this year.
Tell us all about the show. It's called Extra Lives.
That's right. You and everyone who attends are the main character in an original story. You vote during the story on what you, the main character, will do. We use an old video game controller to input your decisions into our show computer, and then a live band scores whatever decisions the audience has made.
This sounds like a very, very big production.
It is, although we pulled the whole thing off with only 3 people and 20 minutes of changeover. So It's tech heavy but lean at the same time.
We must know where it is, of course, taking place.
Of course, it's at Gilded Balloon Patter House every night at 6:05 p.m. We're running 3 completely different stories throughout Fringe, so depending on what night you come, you'll get a different story, and each story itself has between 30 and 64 different variations.
So people can come back, of course. What a great marketing technique.
That's right. We're actually offering a prize to people who come to all 3. Last night, 3 people won this really exclusive prize, and we've only got 100 of them here through Fringe.
What is the exclusive prize?
I'm afraid I can't tell you that, sir, but it's something really cool that cannot be purchased at our merch store, and it's very shiny.
If you want to know what that is, come to the show.
We would love that. 6:05 p.m. at Gilded Balloon Patter House every night here at Fringe. Extra Lives, the interactive video game concert.
Well, as well as the people with brand new plays that we haven't covered before, it's always nice to bump into people that we've already spoken to. And I think the first day we spoke about Wherefore Art Thou Woman Hater, which of course is at the Space Surgeons Hall, venue number 53, all the way through to the 15th. Then it takes a break. It's 12:40, of course, to the 15th, and then it returns again on the 17th to the 22nd at 1:40. So I hope you're following this, but if you've got any issues at all, just have a look at edfringe.com, put in Woman Hater, I'm sure it will come up.
Yes.
And the lady in question here.
My name's Grace.
Grace, that's right. How's it going?
It's going fab. It's going fab, thanks. It's lovely to see you again.
People are responding positively.
Yeah, it's been fab. We've had lots of audience members leaving reviews, which has been lovely. It's been lovely to hear what people have to say. I think obviously misogyny is still very much present in the world and a big issue, so I think it's an honour to be able to shed light on it and, get people thinking, let people laugh at it, to, switch it up and just find ways to keep it in conversation.
So in a nutshell, what people are going to get?
Yeah, so if you come and see the show, you'll get lots of fun, hopefully lots of laughs. There's lots of silly hats involved. There's 3 players on stage, and we're all playing all the parts. My friend Zach is a musician. He underscores the whole thing. He's a fabulous musician, and he's on keys. And Nuala and I will be playing, and there's a character called Misogynos in the play. Basically, he's a bit of a twat, and we're showing everyone not to behave like him. I guess the overall message is what goes around comes around, and it's important to be kind.
A great message.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck with it.
Thanks.
So there we are, another Royal Mile walk completed, and we'll have another one tomorrow.
Next on Fringe Radio, it's Simon Walton talking with actress Kristina Libby.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Now, one of the great things about the Edinburgh Fringe is that you can walk into a theatre expecting a show and walk out having been taken on an extraordinary journey. Kristina, Libby has certainly been on one, and it wasn't all on a first-class ticket. Kristina is a writer, artist, performer from America, New York.
America.
Yeah. She found her soulmate, lost him, suffered a traumatic brain injury in a near fatal accident, and somehow emerged from it all with a new understanding of who she was and a one-woman show to tell us all about it. It's called I Almost Died for This, with an interrobang of a question mark and an exclamation mark on the end of that. Kristina, welcome to Fringe Radio. Your show starts with something that sounds almost like the premise of a romantic comedy, finding a soulmate and believing that you've got the happy ever after. It sounds like everything was about to go spectacularly right. So where did it all go spectacularly wrong?
Oh, I'm really going to spoil the show if I give away that secret. But yeah, it doesn't work out. But it intentionally set up to feel like a rom-com, right? Like girl who has failed relationship, and then has this true meet cute of a moment that feels cinematic, right? And so it's a good place to start. And then, and then we move on.
Well, you described this as something of being the price of being a good girl. When did you start to question that following all the rules was actually taking you somewhere you didn't want to go?
When it didn't work out with the soulmate, I spent like a lot of years really confused, right? Because that is the story we are told in everything, like every Disney movie, every television show, right? Is that you find your soulmate and it works out. And I was so confused that I really was trying to interrogate everything. It took me a long time to start, maybe like a few years after my brain injury, to start to wonder, is the way I am thinking about all of this like fundamentally flawed? So years. It took years.
You're putting an extraordinary amount of yourself out there on stage. When did you realize that these experiences weren't simply things that you'd had survived, but something that you make into a story that you wanted to tell?
It is extremely vulnerable. I have no desire, like real desire, to show that much of myself to the world. But I think when I started admitting everything that had happened and started talking about it with friends, I started to learn that there was a lot of universal truth in how we were all raised, what we believed, how we were taught to act, and that it harms almost all of us, women and men alike, right? And that the only way we can start to change that is if we actually talk about the truth of what our real experience is. And I did the show in 2 sold-out runs in New York before coming here, and people would cry at the end, and they felt so seen. And then audience members we'd stayed in touch for months and months, and they talked about the show as having a really profound impact on them. And I think that for me is worth it, like it's worth sharing all of my inner everything if it can help connect other people and then make it so that people don't go through what I went through. Like I don't want anyone else to almost die trying to chase after some idealized version of love.
Look, it's an accomplished piece of work that's been recognized for that already. But has it changed your own understanding of what love and life actually means?
I have, I think, a much more nuanced opinion about. I'm still someone who loves. I still love love. Like I still want to be loved. I want to be in loving relationships with people. I want everyone to be loved and find who they love. I just don't want us to have to sacrifice ourselves for that love. And I think that's been so much of what my personal journey has been on, is just learning that to be loved for being who you are is the most meaningful, beautiful experience. And when you change who you are to become loved, you're never going to feel love in the way you need it.
You're the person there on the stage, and it's your story that you're telling, and all of us there in the room are enthralled by that. But you interact with your audience afterwards, embrace their stories as well. Has there been anything that the Edinburgh audience has told you that you haven't found elsewhere?
I have been surprised by the number of men who really relate to the show. I think my audiences in America were a lot more female, and so I think I had kind of thought about it as a show for women. But some of the biggest supporters who have been the most touched have been male audiences, and that's kind of wonderful, because it does feel like a woman's story in a lot of ways. So that's been really nice. And I know a lot of people who just have talked about how much it's touched their soul. I mean, that's what I'm here for, you know?
You describe the show as, not being necessarily the good girl anymore. Mm. What's the most gloriously bad thing that you've done since you came to that realization that being good wasn't necessarily the way to get ahead?
I think doing the show is rebellious, like putting everything bad about myself out there has been, that feels like sort of the opposite of what people want. Here's something wilder. I actually ran for the U.S. Senate in July in a special election in the state of Maine. And that also felt quite rebellious. But I also felt like I was able to do that because I had already aired all of my dirty laundry, like in the show. I'll have nothing else to share, I have nothing else that I have done that's terrible. And so I guess by being so open with everyone, I feel like I can do anything now, yeah. But the show, to me, I was really worried when my parents first saw the show that they would be so embarrassed or ashamed or something, and they weren't. So
well, listen, if they come to see the show, they're going to have tickets because it's selling out, and you're on at the Space within the Radisson Blu on the Royal Mile until the 28th of August. The times do vary. If someone listening to Fringe Radio was, lost in themselves in the streets of Edinburgh right now, and you were to bump into them, what would you say to bring them into, I almost died for this?
It's been in the New York Times. It's gotten 5-star reviews. Audiences are calling it profound, extremely funny, that it is moving them at a soul level. And I guess the way I've ended up talking about the show is that it's a funny show, but it's about love and loss and longing.
To end this edition of the programme on Fringe Radio, Simon's back again talking with another actress, Sofia May, who has not one but 2 shows on here at the Fringe. And if it's dark comedy that you're after, well, you've come to the right place.
Now, one of the wonderful things about the Edinburgh Fringe is that you can turn a corner and discover a show about almost anything. Although I have to admit, The Buddha Wears Prada wasn't quite what I was expecting to find. It's the story of comedian Sofia May, who spent 7 years living in a Buddhist community in the Colorado Rockies before leaving and becoming a whistleblower. She's now done what any sensible comedian might do with such an experience, turned it into a stand-up show. I'm delighted to be joined by Sofia. Buddha Wears Prada, it's quite a title. It's difficult to imagine a more intriguing collision of spirituality and consumerism. Where did it all start? Where did that come from?
So I was in a Buddhist cult for 7 years in the Rocky Mountains, and the leader of the cult is she's a very famous white Buddhist teacher, Western Buddhist teacher, and she's a very wealthy woman. She grew up in fabulous wealth, and she continues to be fabulously wealthy. She's exceedingly glamorous. She's got long white hair. She's an older woman, and the blood red lips, and she's extremely cruel and entitled and demanding. And I remember when I worked there at the center at Taramandala, Lama Sultram, that's her name, she watched the Devil Wears Prada. It came out while I was working there. And I remember all of us underlings who worked for her, especially me and her other assistants, we were like, this is just like our lives. But we thought it was somehow charming. That movie, it's not meant to be charming how Meryl Streep treats Anne Hathaway. And according to one of Lama Sultram's close friends at the time, Lama Sultram watched that movie and she got all anxious and she was just like, I'm not like that, am I? And everybody around, because you have to grovel, because she is a narcissist, everyone around her was like, no, you're nothing like that. But of course, she absolutely was that, and that's why you could not tell her. So, I mean, essentially, it just, I think the name encapsulates just how vicious and chic and glamorous a boss she was.
You're talking about something which is incredibly serious, but you're asking the audience to laugh about it.
I think that anything gravely serious is inherently hilarious, because within actually absolutely any topic, there's irony. And when something is gravely serious, the irony tends to intensify. There's more tension, and therefore, when the tension breaks, there's an even more exuberant outcome of the breakage. And honestly, I didn't find any of this stuff funny for a very long time.
You say it's an act of whistleblowing, but it sounds more like an act of catharsism, that getting this out of your system, and your way of doing that is by exposing that on the stage to the audience.
Yes, I would say it's both. So last September, the expose on Tara Mandala came out. It was written by B. Schofield. She's written a number of very important exposés and revealed a number of now famous cults. And when the expose came out, I understood that I had to strike while the iron was hot, while people were paying attention, and throw every weapon I had in my arsenal at the cult to get attention. And as a comic, this is my unique ability that I can find what's funny and I can make a mockery of anything. And cults take themselves extremely seriously, particularly the cult leader. Like you can't even, it's considered a thought crime to even harbor doubts about them in your mind. So by getting up on stage and making jokes that would absolutely humiliate her, it is an act of defiance publicly that really, I think, may collapse her ego. And it is a huge act of catharsis for me to dig into these brutal topics and actually find that there are so many funny things inside of it. There's so much irony and hypocrisy to extract and then put on display.
As a member of the audience, I look at such exposés and we think, how can this have possibly happened? But what you bring to the stage is many questions about belief, power and belonging, and how that overwhelms you.
Yeah, well, to me, it makes actually a lot of sense how these things happen, because when you're in a cult, the bait and switch is actually, it doesn't tend to be sudden, or it takes a long time to get people to the point where they really love and trust you, because you've shown them the side of you that they've shown them something that they've always longed for: community, love, a parent figure they never had. And then when they have that trust and become dependent, that's when the cult tends to pull the rug out. And so that's what happened to me. I do want to just say that by writing jokes, it has been deeply healing, because when you write a joke, what you're doing is replacing the original memory with a really funny version of the memory that actually is totally in your control. Now you control the narrative. You're controlling how people see what happened instead of the cult. And that's what's so disempowering about being in a cult, is that they write the narrative for you, and their narrative is dehumanizing.
You have another show at the Fringe, 9/11, Birds and the Bees. Another show built around extraordinary personal experiences. It's turning those difficult experiences into comedy. And somehow, is that how you process your world?
Yes, it is how I process my world, but I don't know if it's super unique. What I have found is that people going through anything incredibly grim have a natural tendency towards comedy. Like, I have a dear friend, she's much older, she's like a mother figure, and she's a very, very deeply good woman, and she doesn't have a funny bone in her body. And her husband died in a really devastating way, and it was a super black time in all of our lives. I'd never met a funnier person. Like, she completely transformed. She's not funny anymore because now she's healed. But for this period, it was like a light just kept kind of flickering on and off. Like, she had to break that tension because it was too immense, and her psyche just rose to that occasion. And she was hilarious, just making quips all the time. And I think for someone like me, who went through something as devastating as 9/11, my school was right next to the World Trade Center when it happened, at the age of 12, those neural connections were put together really fast. And then I had a very difficult childhood, so that also helped me survive it. And then I got into a cult. Well, so, you know, it didn't help me make better decisions, but it helped me keep my head up.
You laugh about it now, and I suppose I have to ask you, what is the funniest thing about your experience now that absolutely wasn't funny about when they were happening?
Oh, that's a kind of an incredible question. I'm not sure if I can answer it directly, but I can do my best. So one of the most serious things that happened in my cult is that in my first 6 months, I was put through a hazing process, and nobody talked to me. All these people in my community who had previously embraced me as family for 4 previous years when I was in the outer circle as a volunteer, they all started icing me out. And I was in complete social isolation for about 6 months. That was all devised by Lama Sultram. She wanted to isolate me. And I started losing my mind. You know, the conditions of being socially isolated in the Rocky Mountains are actually the exact same conditions from The Shining. So no wonder. I started losing my mind, but luckily I had my cat. And then people always look at me like, oh, poor little cat lady talking to her cat. And then I have to be clear that I did not talk to my cat. I talked to the voices in my head that kept telling me to kill my cat. So that joke, I really did have felicidal ideation. And that is the darkest part of my experience because I am a cat person. I love them probably more than anything. But I lost contact with up and down and who I was and what was happening to such an extent because I was being psychologically tortured. I had these crazy ideations, and that made me feel so ashamed that I couldn't even bring it up in the expose. I couldn't even tell the journalists. I couldn't bring it up on the podcasts. But then when I was writing the hour, I had to come up with an hour's worth of jokes about what happened. And I thought, okay, I have to go to the darkest places. And I went to the darkest place, the place I was most afraid to look. And I looked there and I realized, oh, this is somehow hilarious. When I actually put the pieces together, it is funny. And now that I've found the funny, I'm not ashamed of that anymore. I'm proud. And I want to go tell every room of people I can that I had felicidal ideation. Because it is so absurd.
Sophia May in conversation with Simon Walton.
The breeze with which you came and went will forever leave its dent. You cast your spell right early on, summer love that went on and on. I see you now as I seen you then. The trees grow old, the seasons send secret holds, eternal flames, purple pitchers, lemonade. Can you hear me? The party is over. The last dance, it's gone. It's been taken us over. And if you see me passing around your way, don't look back and pretend, girl. Just have a beautiful day. Was it that we needed time, or simply fall right off the line? Cast aside those doubts we had, something good I wish we'd had. Feel the pangs of what could have been, the things we'd done, the dreams we'd seen. I'm falling now, so please let go into the dark, the unknown. Can you hear me? The party is over. The last dance, it's gone. It's been taken us over. And if you see me passing around your way, don't look back and pretend, girl. Just have a beautiful day. Can you hear me? The party is over. The last dance, it's gone. It's been taken us over and over. And if you see me passing around your way, don't look back and pretend, girl. Just have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful
I like the way you walk, I like to hear you talk. See you make a tongue smile, flash across the lights. You're a shooting star, flying over Mars. You're in the northern lights, and you'll be here tonight. Space girl, come home to me. You've been twice around the galaxy. Now you're living in a rhythm jail. Your knees are knocking while you wake up on the asteroid. Wave to the adoring girls and boys. Is that your rocket man? Yeah, and the space girls in command. You touch down in time, scramble through the hatch. She's at the access stair, shaking out her hair. She's stepping onto the pad to kiss her mum and dad, but she's beyond control. She's got rock and roll. Space girl, come home to me. You've been twice around the galaxy. Now you're living in a rhythm, child. Oh, your knees are knocking while you wake up on the asteroid. Wave to the adoring girls and boys. Is that your rocket band? Yeah, and the space girls in command. Oh, fiddle-dee-dee, you're the one for me. Sweet heavens above, I think I'm in love. But now, oh my God, she's stepping into the pod. See the smile on her face, she's going back to space. Space girl, come home to me. You've been twice around the galaxy. Now you're living in a rhythm, child. Oh, your knees are knocking while you wake up on the asteroid. Wave to the adoring girls and boys. Is that your rocket band? Yeah, and the space girls in command. Space girl, come home to me. You've been twice around the galaxy. Now you're living in a rhythm, child. Oh, your knees are knocking while you wake up on the asteroid. Wave to the adoring girls and boys. Is that your rocket band? Yeah, and the space girls in command.
Two artists appearing at the Edinburgh Fringe. That's the Jennifer Ewan Band with Space Girl, and before that, The Party's Over by Daniel Taylor, although under the name Danny Taylor. And that's your lot for today. Thanks much indeed to my guests for taking part in the programme. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time, same place. Until then, from me, Stuart Cameron, and the team, bye for now.